Hi. Have you ever done something like going out with your friends, taking a break for yourself, or choosing something that you have always wanted, but instead of feeling happy about it, you're feeling guilty about it? Not that you have done something wrong, not that you have hurt anybody, but somewhere inside you know that feeling that this you were not supposed to do. Have that feeling? Many of us, as child, many of us did not choose ourselves. Instead, we learned how to obey. A lot of you must feel this way, and a lot of you will relate to this because um, as a child, our life was a lot of decisions and life was decided for us. What to study, what to speak, when to stay quiet, how to behave. Everything was decided for us. Obedience was rewarded. You must have heard a lot from your teachers and your kids that this kid is so obedient. And it was always the nicer feeling. And questioning, on the other hand, was discouraged or disliked to, I mean, to a big extent. You Nobody liked to be questioned, whether it was your teachers, whether it was your parents, especially the ones who were elder to us. They do not like to be questioned. So in my personal life, there's always people saying to me that why do you always have this why question? If some statement or something doesn't register straight into my head, there's a why that comes up, and whenever I ask that to my parents or to anybody else, they immediately resent it, they immediately defend it, not trying to um, make the other person um, understand, or maybe themselves understand that why am I saying this. A lot of the time it's just the preconditioned things that have been there in their life from their parents, and they just say, and they want you to obey it blindly. And when you question it, you become the different one. You become the difficult one. Yeah. So as a child, a lot of the things we have been already decided for us. And what happens is, and our nervous system um, just somehow believes, or creates just one rule because of all of this is, being loved means being compliant. You just have to comply with what they are saying, and then comes the love for you. If you don't comply, if you somehow rebel to a few things, they just it just doesn't register with them. They just go haywire. They can't handle it somehow, because obviously, if somebody is questioning your control or authority, it doesn't sit well with a lot of people, especially parents and the people who are elder to you. So it's always you being compliant and then being accepted and being loved. It's like um, that being a very obedient child every time, just following the line, just following the rules of what is already there, without even questioning it, irrespective whether that rule, that thing, what they're saying, that statement, what they're making, was maybe 50 years before fine, or maybe acceptable, or maybe was working, but on now it is not working, and they want you to believe in that. And as a child, we go through that. Then comes the adulthood. Marriage happens, new role, and new expectations are replaced by the old ones, but the conditioning remains the same. Earlier it was your parents, now it's your partner, it's your in-laws, the society. Just the authority changes, but the conditioning remains same. And a lot of times the authority also does not change, it just adds up. Your parents, your partner, your in-laws, and it just adds up. People are not, because a lot of the parents also do not want to let go of the control, the conditioning, and how their child should be. Even after marriage, they want to control you. They want you to be what they want you to be. you know. So though that that control everybody wants, it's all about control. They want to make you do things which they could not do it maybe, and they want you to do it, and they want you to take orders blindly. And it's like um, so when someone like um, and when someone who has been going through all this finally decides to choose themselves, it doesn't register in their head as freedom, it registers as danger. Because what you were always doing, following that line, you are following the A. When you do A plus 1, it does not register as freedom in your head, it registers as danger, because you're following out of line. You're always told to follow that line, and that somehow is very killing from inside, but still you want to do it because that's how you have been conditioned, and that feels like a danger to you. And it somehow kills you from inside. And because somehow your system has learned that if I choose myself, I'll lose their love, the safety, their approval. That is what my system has learned over the years, going all through that. So it's not because you're doing something wrong, it's not because you have hurt anybody, it's just emotional conditioning. You know that you're not doing wrong. If you're going out with your friends, maybe for a few hours, you know that it is not wrong, but your emotional conditioning, what you've got from your parents and since your childhood, it makes you feel that you're not falling in line, and their approval will be taken away, their love, their safety will be taken away, because you're doing something which you want as an individual. Forget about your relationship, but as an individual, if you want to do something, um, it just somehow doesn't register to them. So that is the reason they always try and control you. To a large extent, they also want you um, to be safe somehow, but in that controllingness, they somehow lose the sense of you being yourself, and they want to impose themselves upon you. So it's very uh, uh, disliked, a lot of times, very frustrating from inside, but that's how it is. And you are trained to feel responsible for other people's comfort, how they are feeling, not choosing yourself. You have to think about them, and how to go about it. You, first of all, you the guilt that you're feeling, you can't fight it. Just feel that that is happening, because you have to go through it, and you have to grow through it. You can't fight it. Always remember that you have to expect guilt during your growth. You have to grow as a person and as an individual, to choose yourself, and in that choosing and in that growth process, that guilt will always be there. Because it's not easy for somebody to just accept that you're changing, because you're from A, you're becoming a B person, or maybe A plus B, and that person will outgrow themselves, and the people around them will still remain same, and they want you to be that person who was docile, who was being compliant somehow. So um, whether you and it's like we have lived a lot of our lives inside that permission box. You have lived your life inside that permission box, and when you stop living inside that permission box is when the guilt kicks in. But you're also trying to grow yourself, choosing yourself, and always try to separate your discomfort from your wrongdoings. It's a fine line. It's very natural feeling that comes with it, but you always have to separate it. Always ask yourself the question, not to anybody else, just ask yourself the question, did I harm anyone? or did I choose myself? So there is a difference between your discomfort and your wrongdoing. You're not harming anybody. If you're harming anybody, then that's a problem. But if you're not harming anybody, and you're just choosing yourself, not every time, but at least sometimes, so you need to separate that wrong, because that you'll always have that notion of, oh, my discomfort is it's it feels like that I'm doing something wrong. It shouldn't be like that. And just practice self trust in in yourself. Self trust. Be consistent with choosing yourself, because over time the guilt will soften. As you go through life and grow through life, the guilt will just somehow soften, and you will be fine with people behaving the way you are, and just accepting, because you will start from the uh, uh, below the hill. As you go up, once you are on top of the hill, a lot of the people will still remain at the surface level. And once you go up and you climb up and you rise up, and after a point they can't touch you, not physically, but they can't touch you in terms of your of bothering you mentally, of bothering you in any sense emotionally. That's your journey, that's your individual journey. Always remember, because parents and the people who are there in the close relationship to you, they always feel that they have an authority to you, because they brought you in in this life. So they somehow feel that they have an authority over you. You are an individual. A lot of parents don't understand this. You are an individual, you have your own set of life, own set of experiences that you have to go through. They want to impose their experiences on you. So as and you need to realize they are coming from what they have learned and what they have been through life. But as you as an individual have to take that responsibility of what you want to go through life, how you want to experience life. Whether you want to just be that horse with that eyeshadow, and just be in that line and don't want to see anything else, don't want to experience life to its fullest, or maybe how it is. You can't live somebody else's version in your life. It's your life. You have to live your life at your terms, at your version. So it takes time. You have to be patient with it, and because peace often comes after guilt. Trust me. So choose yourself, and don't feel guilty about choosing yourself. Cheers.